offering this weekend. So yes, let's go ahead and enjoy our time in the swing. Let's come to stand at the center of the mat and go over our alignment principles. So what we do is that we use the mats to define the space, and this is super duper important. We are getting out of all the linear movements and finding our spherical nature. And so the center point of the mat, which is much easier to find with the mandala mats, right? The center point is our axes. So this is our spine. So we're going to see it as our spine. We also want to see it as our plumb line, which means we're right underneath our hooks. Okay, so this is how we spin along the center axes. And like I said, I'll be giving a lot more information this time. That would just be too much when you're learning the poses. You're like, I just need to know how to do a sumo squat. But now I want you guys to understand that there's a really significant emphasis on this alignment principle. So the alignment principles are the key to how I use the swing. Everybody can have a different focus. If you want to get exercise, you're going to get exercise. If you want to just get super chill and mellow, you can do that too, or just play. But the AYRx is therapeutics. It is really understanding the power of this practice for alignment. That's different. So I like to use the forearms. The forearm press really allows us to put the swing nice and low. So we're going to the waist because gravity works really well and it's consistent. So it's always going to pull the swing up. So we're going to pull down against it. First we pull down against it with our forearms. Then we're going to pull down against it with our underarms when it's underneath. Okay, so we're always engaged. There's an engagement point where the swing hooks and then we're relaxed in the rest of the body. So let's lean back, and what we do, we hold on, and then we're going to use our forearm press to keep that hook. And then we walk forward. So find the front of your mat. I know mine looks a little bit different, so just front of the red mat, heel toe wide. This is how we find our sumo. So feel like a sumo. So sumos, you're really having the knees open, always stacking, right? So stack the knees over the ankles. So that's why we always walk our feet forward, then we drop. Our tailbone is on our axes. Right? Our tailbone is right at our plumb line, so it's not this, right? A lot of our people will do this when their lower back is locked. It just means that they have tightness in their hips. Doesn't mean anything else, right? So we're going to start to loosen up that tightness by keeping the knees open. See if you can keep the tracking of the knees, but the hips start to move independently. There you go. Just play with it. It might feel stuck. And that's okay because most of our people will feel the same thing you're feeling, right? But keep the knees open and keep them in alignment with the ankle bones. Right? If we drop the knees in, we're collapsing. So how can we keep that alignment and that engagement without the collapse? First thing that happens after we come to the sumo squat is we go like, hanging by my underarms is uncomfortable. Right? First thing on their face, you can just, the eyebrows usually give it away. So we're going to learn how to come into a supported back bend. Straight legs. Now notice we push our forearms in to make sure the swing is right behind the heart, right behind the bra strap, right? It will ride up, so we can always give it a little wiggle. So we don't make it so low that the rib cage flares out. We want to keep it right at the apex of the heart. And now over here, we keep the diagonal. So press straight back. That's it. That's it. That's the difference between alignment and not. This is what I call superstar. Right? Shake it out, superstar. Shake, shake, shake. And then from there, we're going to use our interlaced fingers, like all the time. So this is called chillaxing arms, right? So the idea is we're relaxing our head into our hands and tractioning the back of the neck. So we're actually pulling up and out to that back corner, so top corner. So not a U shape, right? Up and out. So aim like a diagonal. Yes, better. You feel the difference? Now everything is supported. We don't want to collapse anywhere in these poses. We can be relaxed in the muscles we're not using, but we keep that engagement through the full length of the spine. Beautiful, guys. And then a tiny little undulation from side to side. I call it weeping willow when we open up the side body. And then once we feel comfortable, like we've gotten the swing into the sweet spot, I use the term sweet spot quite a bit, then we're going to use our forearm press again. Super important, lock it in. If we keep pushing that forward, drop your hips, drop your hips. There you go. That's it, that's it. If we keep pushing forward, it's not actually going to touch the armpits. There's like a little goose egg of space that we don't want to crush in that sensitive part where the lymph system lives. But we are getting the emphasis of the sternum lifting and the hips dropping. So I'm going to talk a lot about dynamic tension. So dynamic tension is when our upper body lifts and our lower body drops. And this is how you get space and length in between the vertebrae. This is the most important thing we can do to heal the spine. This is what helps people not only release the inflammation, bulging disc, herniated disc, all these nice labels Western medicine likes to give with very little solution. We're going to get out of the labeling process and get into spaciousness. If we create space in the body, doesn't this feel good? Just rocking back and forth. Honestly, this is how I start with every client. What I share with you in the aerial yoga program, aerial yoga play program, as well as AYRx, is what I do in the swing. This is what I do every day. You know, I don't give you anything I don't do. This has been proven day in and day out to work. You also have reference to the 30-day yoga swing challenge as an introduction to the AYRx. So for beginners, tell them to take the 30-day challenge. Okay, they do the swing 5 to 10 minutes each day, cycling through every layer of the body, every body part. It'll be transformational for them. So that's a nice way. You guys get commissions on the swings. You get 10% commission for all swing sales. Encourage people to get their own swing and do it every day. That's when you'll see the big change. And of course, have them come to you for like the deeper details that they need to learn. Good, guys. Let's press back, right? Support your back. But again, first we open it up, right? So big, long diagonal in the body. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Create space. And then come into superstar. Hands wide and shake them out. Superstar, superstar. Press back, 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 back. Press your legs straight back. Yes, that's it. You got it. And then interlace the fingers, chillax in arms. Now we're going to be a little bit wider. Just step out a little bit wider. Yeah, keep the toes right at the edge. And then I want you to bend the knee as you come. So go right, press back, left, press back. So use your breath. So inhale here, exhale, right knee bends. Inhale, press back, exhale, left knee bends. So straight back, create as much space as possible. So side body stretch to the right. Try to stay synced since we do have enough space, but we would not bumper car one another, right? So go ahead and press back. Let's go to the right. You're right. There we go. So don't go too far. So I'm going to use, so watch me with Shanti, and then I'll come over and help you too. So what we want to do is make sure that we don't go past that one angle. So turn your toes out. Turn your toes out. Yeah, like that. Cool. Push your toes down. Now bend your right knee. Now you're going to be right here. Press back, press back, press back. That's the angle, okay? That's it. So that way we're so much And this would be the yogasage that we would do in this pose. So we're really lifting up and out. So see the difference? So we're not trying to get the elbow to touch the knee per se, but we want that nice long length. So this could be a little bit lower. So all you can do that. So yes, good. Press the legs straight. There you go. Let's see that nice long diagonal. Bend your right knee. Bend out to the side. So don't collapse. Keep lifting up and out. Yeah. Let me know if it's too hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Different.
Yes, that's it. That's it. That's just a little bit. Press back, and you'll notice that every single person needs this kind of lift. This helps. Is that okay on your underarms? Okay. Yeah. So you see how I'm getting that nice long diagonal? Yeah. And this knee, I need like a spider. Yeah. I need like 8 arms to get you. There you go. Okay, now try it on your own. Okay. So try not to collapse anywhere. There you go. And then press straight back. That's it. And then go ahead and bend your left knee. That's it. Play with that for a few more breaths. A little bit different. So this is the line of energy, right? So from the toes all the way to the fingertips, we're getting that whole diagonal going. Okay? So we're pulling from that elbow to reach. And it is easy to just kind of collapse into it and swing a little bit too far forward, so I want to just keep that semicircular shape. So the leaning back is the key, and that way we're trusting the swing to open the heart the whole time, and we're accessing the psoas. It's a totally different stretch than your grandma's side body stretch. Yeah. Just think lift, and you'll get it. That's it. That's better, hun. Okay, good. Let's come back to center one more time. Superstar. Shake it out, superstar. All right, forearm press, bend the knees, sumo. You can leave the feet where they are. We're going to keep them wide. So I call this wide center, right? So they're wide, but they're closer to the center of the mat. And we're still about 45. Yeah, that's good with the feet. And then we're going to do a little shifting from side to side, a little bit bigger. Make sure that we have our strong upper body. If your underarms start to hurt, just go ahead and press back and get it lower. Okay, whenever you need a break. Let's go ahead and shift to the right and stay here. Awesome. Now all of a sudden we're in a side lunge. Right? Now I want this to happen. Okay? Yes! That's the knee, right? It's going to want to collapse in. I call it make a wish when we're spreading our hips.
Make a wish.
Yeah, like, you know, the little wishbone at Thanksgiving. So notice the intensity here. This is stretching a totally different area. Okay, press back, semicircular shape to change sides. And then press you up, that's it. Stay feet grounded through the feet, don't collapse through the feet. Lift that inner, yes, that's it, hon. Just taking that little bit off, that lift is gonna help balance it out. Beautiful, press back. These are all the details you're gonna have to focus on with your people, so it's really good for us to talk about it. Really common is the collapse that we see in the body, and that's why we're compressing the joints. That's why we're like putting too much pressure on the vertebrae, and then we create pain. But all of that will be remedied with this lifting and aligning and expanding. Now notice the more we pulse forward, let's stay here and pulse. You're kind of touching into the intensity and then backing off. So a lot of times what we do in yoga is we lock the tension in because we're holding the pose and we're tensing, right? So we're actually training the joints to hold tension. And when we have the swing hold us and we just pulse like this, we're training the body to relax into it. Okay, so come on, press back one more time. I want you to go ahead and get that swing nice and low, hon. Just get it low on the back. There you go. Take a moment. And then bend the right knee. Let's pulse here. Maybe now you feel like you can go a little bit further. Good lift. That was perfect, Kirsten. Good job. You feel the difference? Mm-hmm. And the swing is supporting you and helping you, where if you don't have a swing, you will just drop, especially those inner lines. And I call it the inner belly of the body. So all the inner belly, not just this belly, but the underbody belly. Mm-hmm. This is the part where we have the collapse and the excess yin energy, which means we haven't engaged fully through like the spherical nature. You know, and so it's rebalancing the yin and yang of the body, related to our organs. All right, press back one more time. Let's go into our full back bend and then chillax in arms. Heel toe the feet together. So good. So we don't have to change anything. See if we can wiggle ourselves. Toes towards the front of the mat if they're not touching, so a little bit more forward. There you go. Perfect, guys. Okay, so notice our weeping willow in this position. Make sure, I know you can take a look at me, but then I want your gaze to be up to that back top corner of the room. Really good. That'll lift the heart. And then notice you guys could just freestyle. I don't think you'll bumper car, which is really nice. But just notice how there's a lot more swag. I call it swagger, where you can get a big sway in the swing. So this is working with the angular momentum, the axis point. And it's really fun. It's really fun here. What we're doing, every time we sway from side to side, we're opening up the connective tissue. There's a sheath over the body, which we call fascia. And fascia is responsible for like 90% of the tightness. So only a little bit of that tightness is the actual muscle. The muscle's being kind of suffocated by the tight layer. It's the connection between the skin and the muscle. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yes.
So feel how you're getting a free rocking session on your back here, right? That real sticky spot behind the heart. I woke up with this one vertebrae right behind the heart out of alignment today. I was like, oh, perfect. I got it. Yay! Look at that. We're focusing on upper body. Let's get into that spot, right? That's my body cueing me. Hey, we all need more opening here. Beautiful. Come on back to center. Let's open it up wide. I love, this is a nerve stretch. Feel that. Shake it out. Feel how the arms are coming alive. Forearm press, we're going to come into a forward lunge. We just did our side lunges. Forearm press always first, right? Keep that up. That looks good. Isn't it much stronger now? You can feel your body working. So this is not hooked. This is not engaged. This is engaged. See, that's like a huge difference.
So you're feeling
right. That's right. That's right. And then we're going to pick up our left knee and shoot the foot back. Yeah. And then we're going to stay up on our toes with both feet. Can you stay up on the toes? Yeah. See how we have that lift now? Let's just play with the buoyancy here, letting the knee come up and down. Stay right underneath your plumb line. So think up and down, right? So you have to use your quad. That's it. That's it. It's going to be a little bit of work, but we're keeping the alignment. Nice, guys. And left, and lower, lower. Okay. So once we lift, we're going to stay here, and now we're going to press, press, press. And notice we can rotate our heart towards the sky. Shine your heart all the way up. And then at any time, the neck feels like it needs a little support here, and it will. This is restorative, right? Use your arms. Notice this big stretch through the belly, through the quad, through the hip flexor, all the way into the chest. Isn't that amazing? Now all you need to do is press back. So press back and bring both feet forward. This is how we're going to change sides. Et voila, we're in a supported back bend. Lift the right knee, shoot it back, bend the left. Notice you can go right into it without the forearm press if we wanted to. Yeah, see, you have to trust a little bit. Those swings got you. Bend the left knee and pulse. Bend the left knee and pulse. Yeah. That's it. Keep the chest lifted. Should feel really good. Does anybody else feel their quad? Is that like right quad coming alive? So amazing. All right, so let's go ahead. Press back. Use your forearms this time. Drop in. We're going to go over that one more time. What I like to do in the interim is flex my toes back and sway a little from side to side. And this one you can drop the hips. Now you got your diagonal. You're like, I'm not moving them. Okay. Just notice how this feels good on the TFL, the sides of the hip flexors, right? Real simple movements like this are going to be huge in helping to release the lower back pain. We're focusing on upper body, but can't ignore it because the lower back is connected. Press the toes down, right at the front of the mat there. Press your hips back up to the diagonal. Let's go ahead and use our forearms at first. Left knee up, shoot it back. Drop in, straight up and down here. Yep, onto the toes. Good. Now notice if we straighten that front leg, we come into our traditional lunge. Like a unit, right? Knee tracks over the ankles, straighten that front leg. Can you get up there? There you go, hon. Yeah, that's all right, let the swing hold you. Yeah. It's an intense pose without the swing, but notice the spine. Can you feel the vertical alignment in the spine instead of the head dive that we would normally do? Huge for the alignment, okay? Let's go ahead and press back. Try the other side. Just giving you the variety pack of lunges we can do here, basically. Keep the toes tucked under, and then start to straighten that back leg. Notice what happens, yeah. So you're on the turn your heel up. Yes, that's it. There you go. That's a little bit more stable now. Yeah, so we're not going to walk on a tightrope. We're going to keep our legs hip distance. So a lot of people do this in the lunges. And then we're like, woo, right here, hip distance. Cool. So we straighten that back leg. We feel the lift through the spine. If anybody here wants to try, bend the back knee. Come into the fullest expression of the back bend. Just notice what it's like to have the heart lead the way. Notice the back is completely long and relaxed. You guys feel what I'm talking about in the lower back? There's no pain in the lower back at all. It's amazing. This is how we're supposed to back bend. From the heart, from the upper thoracic spine. Now use your hands to support your head. Release the fingers, relax the arms, straighten both legs. Come on back. We can leap and willow one more time. All right, really play now. Get it a little bit bigger, add a little bit more swag. We're still on number one. I'm going to give you one more twist, my favorite twist. So good. Notice that there are tons and tons of poses I can give you. I'm giving you less poses and more detail. Okay? That's kind of how we're going to have to work it to get through all that we're going to do. But, play with the Warrior Two poses. Play with the different variations we can do from yoga. Let's come back into our forearm press. Keep that hook. Okay, just undulate a few times. Just feel your hips, feel your spine. We're going to start with the left again. Pick that up. Roll onto the side of the right foot, so we have to step. And then when we step, so you can step to the edge of the mat. That's why that mat is really helpful. That's perfect. Flex the toes back to keep the alignment of the bones. And then we have a lot going on here. The chest stays lifted, but the hips drop. Right? Yeah. See how different that is? So one part dynamic tension, one part lifting. It's like a guitar string. We have to tighten both ends. Otherwise we go whoop, 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 right? We're going this way. Yeah, get that lift. And then when we twist, we're pulling our knee back. Yes, that's it. And just play with that. Taking a big inhale and lifting. Exhale, dropping the hips. See if that guitar string can get tuned and tightened. And that wringing out of the spine, the twisting is wringing out. Do you feel your obliques, your side body? That like love handle there that's so hard to get into? Doesn't matter how much yoga you do, this is seriously, it's just so deep here. The intercostals are getting some space. For the longest time, my ribs literally sat on top of my hip bone. There was like no waist. And now there's maybe an inch or two, which I'm proud of. But you know, it's amazing like how congested that one area can get there. All right, let's come back through center. If you ever feel the ripping, burning, tearing sensation of the fascia releasing, I'm like, you're welcome. Great session. That's the raw thing, but let's just come out of it. You know, it will be intense when that opens. Let's flex the toes back and show you another way to get into it. First, some people forget how to flex. So we roll onto the outer edge of the left, and then we step. So that's another option. Just to give you some ways of helping your buddies out in class find the alignment. Hip and knee in alignment, right? Hip and knee and ankle in alignment. See the stacking? That's what we're looking for, those lines. And then from there we twist. So when we lift our chest, you can lift your chest a lot, right? If it's bothering you, lift a lot. Just get it into position and then drop your hips. Keep your chest lifted, drop your hips. See how that feels? That's the stretch. That's how you get into that oblique. They have to be both happening simultaneously. And then what I like to do is I like to pulse. You can either pulse with a spin. This is the spiral dynamics that we'll learn in the third module. I'll give lots of hints for the sacred geometrics that are happening in the body. And then the other pulse is up. Inhale up, exhale drop. So there's a couple different directions we can move here. We're learning how to move in multidimensional space. And we're very dynamic in nature. Inhale lift, exhale drop. Beautiful, guys. Really good. Okay, let's come back to center. One more time, get the swing nice and low. If you need to adjust it, it's okay. Keep adjusting it until it feels like you found that perfect placement behind the heart. We do willow one last time. If you're ever in doubt, get people into a supported back bed and just let them get comfortable with opening their heart. This entire practice is a heart-opening, heart-centered version of yoga. Opening the heart can be really intense for people. We're going to be as playful and as gentle about it as possible. All right. Let's go ahead and bring our arms wide. Let's get a heel toe out to our sumo squat. Bring your hands onto your knees. And we're going to come right into our warrior two. What we're going to do is press our chest forward and bring our hips back. And I put my hands on my hip flexors because that way, voila, I slide right into the elbow creases. Right? Once I'm here, so these are your hips, these are your shoulders, point towards your shoulders. There you go. This is where we're going to be with it. Most people are going to be like this. Feel the difference in these two stretches. This stretch, a little bit more intense, right? This is a little bit easier. We're going for intense. We're going for that place where the hands are always pulling. So if you were standing, it would be the difference between this and this. See how that's so different in the chest, waist, shoulders. But now we have our body weight helping to open up all this tightness across the chest. Again, our emphasis is on the upper body, but if I wanted to put my emphasis on the lower body in these same poses, I would press into the outer heels of my feet, bring all of my weight to the outer edge of my toes. Okay, spread your sit bones, make room for your sacrum, and then align the spine. So from tailbone to crown of the head, one long line of energy. Right? And then you can feel your lower back more. Let's go ahead and keep our arms nice and strong. And I like to wiggle a lot in the swing. The official scientific term is wiggling. So we just let our body kind of sway a little from side to side here. Let it feel good as you just give your body a little space to undulate. That's great. Yeah, so good, so intense, but we can make it so easy. You know, we can be easy about it. So we're moving into forward folds with the swing at the elbow. This is 2A in our review. Okay, we're in our wide straddle. Let's go ahead and do the elbow lock twist. So we're going to let the left hand come down. It's like a football stance. It's right underneath your gaze, and then you pull. Keep the right arm hooked. Where's the hand? By the shoulder, right? Yeah, that's it. Maybe a nice strong fist. Do you feel a difference? Is that amazing? It'll come down to the waist if we let it get relaxed. So we pull it towards the shoulder. Pull up and out first. Out towards me. Up and out. Yes. Perfect, guys. And then twist. Look towards the sky, over the right. Pull the fist down towards the sternum. Really strong. Right? Bring out the spine. And then exhale. Look down towards the ground and pause. Really good. Inhale, lengthen. Up and out. Exhale, twist. that fist goes towards your sternum. Yeah, like that. Let me help you a little bit. And look up towards the sky. Is it okay on your neck? Mm-hmm. And now what's going to happen is as you pull down, lift at the same time. I see. So pull your fist towards your chest. Yes, and then you let your body stack, like your shoulders stack. That's it. Right? So when you pull, you're kind of like a little bit of a lever that lets you lift your body. That's okay, good. Let's do that one more time. Relax back down, look towards the ground. Pause in between, and then inhale, lift. Stack the shoulders, twist. So your fist is strongly pulling down. And then go ahead and look down again, relax. Simple, but really intense. So you can see how this is really working the rotator cuff, working the shoulder joint. We're going to slide into a straight arm, let your hand grab for the swing. There you go, cool. So this is the other one that lubricates the shoulder joint. What we're going to do is we lift, and then we start to rotate. What we want to do is bring the swing overhead, but just notice the natural mobility of the shoulder, or not. And notice that you get to this one turning point where you have to flip the shoulder over. Lift and flip the shoulder over. Let yourself lift up. All the way up. There you go. That's it. Straight arms if you can. Don't mind my hair, the underwear. Then we thread through. We're going to get both hands together, and I interlace my fingers. Now, it is possible for the swing to slide off, so we are engaged, right? And there is 2 options here. We'll work with lots of people with shoulder injury, and we want to. We want to encourage people with shoulder injury to give this a try. Elbows bent is the choice. Okay, elbows bent protects the shoulder joint until they get open enough. That's straightening. So I want your head above. Yes. So if we drop our head, notice how that will straighten the shoulder joint. If we lift our head, we're leading with our heart. Slightly different. Yeah, lift your head. Okay, really good. Oh yeah, okay, thank you. I was like, and then she goes back. You do hear me the first time. I know. I'm used to repeating. All right, now let's see what happens when we let the heart kiss the ground here. Let the heart kiss the ground. Yeah. Big shoulder opener. This is all we have to do to heal the shoulders, really. Very simple. We don't have to get crazy, although we can use Superfly to heal the shoulders as ready. I almost cut Superfly from the team, and I was like, no, we got to do it. We got to do it. Even though it's hard. Yeah, exactly. But that's how we learn our partnering. We'll learn partnering with Superfly. Let's go ahead and focus on this. Inhale, lift. Press, press, press. Use your arms. Press, press, press. Something so easy could be so intense, right? Just use your arms, nice and slow. You can bend the elbows if you need to come down, but lower the heart, not the head. Yes. Sweet. That's it. Nice and slow.
Yeah, and that makes a huge difference.
Doesn't it? I told you. Yeah. Press, press, press. Come up. That's why we're here. Reviewing is so helpful because now I can get into all those details. Or before I'm just like, just do the best you can. Lower down, nice and slow. Beautiful ladies. Yeah, and then press. All right. Yeah. 3 sets of 10 of those. The shoulders, that's all you need. Somebody comes in a shoulder, just do this. Just one sequence. You know, people don't need anything fancy. I usually give them like 3 poses or they get overwhelmed. They start blazing over. So let's go ahead and release our left arm. Keep your right arm exactly where it is. And then up and overhead. When we get to the top, we bend the elbow and then the hand can come down. That's right. Right hand releases. Unthread. Perfect. Second side. We're ready for our football stance, right? So first get that nice long axis of the spine. Notice the head drops for a lot of people. We want that center axis. So we're spinning on axes, right? I'm going to talk a lot about the physics of the body in this training. The fist is towards the shoulder. And now when we lengthen, we inhale. When we exhale, we twist. And see if you can pull the fist towards the sternum, which will stack your shoulders. Nice. Good. And exhale and relax and look down to the ground. The pulsing is super important. Okay? Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. So stay on axes. So, Kirsten, love, keep your head right on axes and twist like this.
Okay, good.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we keep that nice long spine. I call it the pillar. Keep our pillar at all times. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. That's it. All right, come back to center, straighten the top arm. Just hold on. Now we don't have any X. And just notice how if we bring the arm overhead, it's a little bit easier. You know, it's still challenging on the shoulder, but it's a little bit easier. So we have to lift to roll the shoulder over. That can be challenging for people. And then we're all going to bend our elbows for this one. So now we're getting more into the triceps. I'm going to have you bend the knees and play a little bit from side to side. Feel your rib cage, feel your heart, keep your head lifted above. So your ears can be aligned with your shoulders. That's it. That's it.
Okay, so in this, specifically with the shoulders, we don't align the crown of the head with the spine. We keep a little lift with the eyes. Yes.
I would keep my head in line with my spine, but since we're talking to each other, we're going to look up. But normally I would keep my head in line with my spine for all the poses. But notice that my heart is dropped, and so my head, I'm like a little bit of a U shape there because I'm emphasizing the arch from the upper thoracic.
Got it.
So that's why the head can lift and my tailbone's lifting. Yeah. But it happens not at the lower back, but the heart. Do you see what I'm saying? Yes, that's better. Because we don't want to like have that like old cow droopy.
Yeah.
We want to get the heart.
Yeah.
That's right. Keep the belly with the spine. Good. So after just playing a little sway from side to side here, you just notice how much is happening. Then when we come to center, we're going to inhale, press, press, press the straight arms. Come on up. Just the arms. Press, press, press. Yeah, work it. It's a nice, strong strengthener there for the underbelly of your arms. You guys feel what I'm talking about? This is the sleepy part. This is all getting very strong and awake and happy. Exhale, lower down. Just so the heart can kiss down. Perfect. Good adjustment, Kirsten. Press into the outer edges of the feet, right? Yes. And then press, press, press. Come on up. And then exhale, back down again. Doing great. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, press. Press, 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 press. Oh, man. Good. Now you guys are going to use these poses tomorrow for Superfly. So I want you to just feel like you're really using your arms, because a lot of people go like this. They're just like pumping their hips forward, which is fine. There's many activities. Yeah, Superfly that way. And you will not be getting that. Okay, we really want to trust our upper body to hold our weight, as well as keeping the shoulders happy. So that's why we do this exercise, okay? At first, you're going to feel that instability, but tomorrow we're going to get into all the plugging in and really harnessing our power and leveraging that strength. Okay, really good. Everybody good for a little bit? We're going to do one more pose and then have a little 10-minute break to take care of ourselves and whatever need. You guys are doing awesome. Really getting the alignment principles, even if it isn't like showing up immediately in the body. When you make that adjustment, you're feeling it. You notice how different it is? It gives you more power and strength. When we collapse, we actually get fatigued, right? But we're feeling like, I imagine there being little balloons that we're pumping in our joints and everything, so we're actually getting more buoyant by doing this. You can feel the buoyancy in the spine, especially when you release, right?
I feel taller already.
Right? Yeah. Just feel that upliftment. There's so much symbology in this. It really is beyond the physical practice. It has to do with our mental and emotional and psycho-spiritual states that are all being, it definitely uplifts the spirit too,
So there's a tarot deck right there.
Oh yeah. The cards all have inspirations on them. That's why I didn't go review. Each one has an inspiration and information and then like a little bit about the poses, but really this idea of like lead with your heart, right? We picked any one inspiration that we lead with our heart, not with our head. We're not doing the head first reality, we're doing the heart first. Okay, let me just pause this so we can break it up into increments.